Damon here from NLP Gym. How to get what you want from other people. Before I get into that, if you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can get regular updates on these videos. Okay, so how do you get what you want from other people? That might sound bad to some people who are watching this. Think about it like this. You have big dreams, you have goals, you have ambition. You can't do this alone. You need the compliance and the help of other people. That's with anything, sales, coworkers, parenting, relationships, dating, no matter what, you are working with other people and you need their compliance in getting what you want. Now, there is this thing called manipulation, depending on how you define that. Manipulation in the sense of it being something that's deceptive or tricks or any of those things. Sometimes that works. You might get a short-term, sort of immediate kind of result from that. Ultimately, though, that is not going to serve you. It certainly doesn't serve other people, and it's destructive. So I'm not in any way advocating that. The more congruent, aligned you are with who you are, and the more upfront and honest you are, that's much more powerful in persuading people than any type of tricks or manipulation or deception. So that disclaimer aside, let's get into this. First and foremost, and this is going to sound really simple, and if it was so simple that everyone would do this naturally, I wouldn't even bring it up. But I'm amazed at how many people don't actually do this, and that is just be really clear about your intent when you're trying to persuade someone. When it's sales, be really clear about what you want for that person. And maybe you haven't met the person before, or maybe you've only spoken to them on the phone, so you don't maybe know what the correct product is for that person. For me, when I do insurance sales, I don't always know what's right for that person, so I'll use an intent like, my job here is to find this person's needs and line that up with a product or a service that I offer. And if for whatever reason I can't do that and they don't need what I sell, then I'm not going to sell them anything. My intent is to do what's right for the client and get them what they want. So it can be something really simple like that. If you can say this in 5 words or less, what your intent is, that's even better. The more lucid, more simple you can be about it and more direct, the better. So I want, and then in 5 words or less, say what it is that you want. Now, here's the other thing too. When you say what you want, remember that you don't control people. You can't make people do what you want. So it might just be something very simple, like, I want to connect with this person, and that might be the first intent. And then maybe once you've done that, you can create another intent. I want this person to buy XYZ. I want this person to go out on a date with me. I want this person to help me with this project that I'm doing. So keep it really simple and be very clear about what your intent is. And do that first before you even approach the person. Second position, here's number 2 tip. Second position is when you actually imagine dropping into the other person. This is how we cultivate sympathy, where we do this naturally in order to sort of get a sense of the other person, and we do this naturally when we're being sympathetic or empathetic. This is based on mirror neurons, which I'm not going to get into because that's more of neuroscience, and it's a big subject, so you can Google that. So drop into the other person and really become that person. Don't become you sitting in the other person's chair, or don't become you standing over there. Become that person, imagine being that person, and look back at yourself. Now, preferably, you will want to do this before you attempt to persuade the person, but you can do this while you're persuading them. And this should inform how you mirror and match someone, because what mirroring and matching is really about, it's about stepping into that person's world and getting a sense of who they are by the way that they sit, the way that maybe if they're standing, the way that they breathe, the way that they move their hands. You're trying this out, like you're sort of practicing to be them. And it's amazing. You'll start to get a sense of their world. Of course, you're not going to be a mind reader. You're not going to know everything, all of their thoughts, but it's amazing what will come up. You will start to get a sense of who they are. Not only that, you'll get a sense of who they are looking at yourself. So I'm dropping into the other person, I'm imagining being them looking back at me, attempting to persuade them. That's a very powerful technique. So not only is it going to gain rapport with that person quickly and make them very comfortable with you, you're going to get a sense of what they want, what their needs are, and that's going to help you in knowing how to lead them to get what you want. So going second position, really powerful. Third, always be willing to walk away. Always be okay with not getting what you want. When people are desperate, other people feel that, and it doesn't feel good, and they're going to want to get away from you. So any sense of scarcity mindset, like I have to get this sale, I have to get this person to go out with me, I have to. That energy does not feel good. I mean, when you feel desperation, it certainly doesn't feel good. When you're projecting that onto someone else and putting that pressure on them, it feels really pushy. It feels really bad. We've all been in those situations before, so don't do that. Now, there is a small percentage of people who actually respond to that and will buy from you or do what you want. In general, you don't want to be around those people. There's something else going on with them, and you don't want them as clients. You don't want them as partners. You don't want them as a relationship. There's something that they haven't resolved or worked out for themselves. So it's not good. I would say avoid that type of person. Keep your energy good and clean. Having that lucid focus of intent. Getting familiar with them by stepping into their world, and then always be willing to walk away. That is an extremely empowering place to come from. And sometimes people just need to feel like they can say no to you, and that would be okay. If they're feeling pressure, they're going to give you excuses. They're going to put you off. They're going to tell you they have to talk to their wife, or they have to talk to their husband, or they have to check their calendar. Any of those things, they're going to tell you something else, but it's really that they're going to say no, and they don't know how to tell you that. When you give people the space in the comfort level that they know that they can say no to you, and that's going to be okay, a really strange thing happens, and often letting them say no gets them to say yes. Not always, but in general, I've found this to be the case. So the more that you can give them that space, and the freedom to just say no, they often will end up doing what it is you're asking them to do. So be clear about your intent. Pace them by getting familiar with their world, and that's mirroring and matching. But the best way to really inform your mirroring and matching is to step into their world or drop into them. As they bring up objections, reframe those objections, and that's a much bigger topic that I don't have time to go into right now, but reframing is extremely powerful, and that's what Sleight of Mouth is all about. It's 14 language patterns for reframing. So reframe the objections, and always be coming from a place of willingness to walk away, and you're going to be these three simple techniques, if you put them into practice, not only will make you a better persuader, you will get more clear about who you are and what you want, and that release of not being so connected to or desperate for the outcome will invite new things into your world and invite new possibilities, and it's extremely exciting. It's a really exciting place to be. As always, please check out our website, nlp-gym.com. Follow us on Facebook, and as I mentioned, subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you like this video, please click like right down here at the bottom. Take care.